Welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and as you can tell, I have no contacts on today. My natural eye color is brown, like a chestnut brown. And I posted a picture of this earlier, and the only reason I did this was because, I think a lot of us that are tuning in always criticize other people or call them fake because they choose to, and I hear this typically a lot from men, criticizing women that, that women will not, they're not as beautiful without makeup, or they're not, they criticize them if they don't have their extensions in or their wigs, weaves, and it's wrong. As a society and as a whole, we need to love ourselves unconditionally regardless of what is being said. And I've always loved myself, but in a past life I did have blue eyes, and so I always gravitated towards blue contacts. Another reason that I wear contacts is to shield myself, or shield my soul, and protect myself from negative energy. Now you would probably be listening to this and saying, well, how's that possible? When you're covering your eyes, you are definitely, when you have contacts on, people are not necessarily seeing your iris or the actual soul, of yourself. Yes, they can pick up on your soul and stuff like that, but it's a different level, because remember, our eyes are the windows to our soul. So I always have used blue contacts because of that, to protect myself, because a lot of conjurers, people who practice witchcraft, hoodoo, there's a lot of envy and just a lot of jealousy in the spiritual community. And so this has been one of my protection mechanisms, and I think that, a lot of you that may not be aware of it, you heard it here first on my channel. You can use contacts to kind of shield and protect yourself from negative energy. So today's video, I'm going to be talking about methods to protect yourself that you may or may not have heard of spiritually, and one of them is contacts. I'm going to be talking about Hurricane Dorian. I'm also going to be talking about Jay-Z and this NFL, or in whatever he signed, that agreement. Just giving a little bit of insight, not too much in depth, and we're just going to chat today just a little bit, and also I'm going to talk about some other things as well. So if you have not had your tea, go ahead and get comfortable and have your tea, so that way you can find me. And if you haven't noticed, I feel like I can actually see it on the camera that I have lost some weight. I am, about 20 pounds still lost, so I'm just very excited. Everything is very positive. I will be also doing a haunting investigation here very soon at a haunted location. I'm not going to be able to tell you the details right now, but it is a haunted location. It has made national news before and has been in the media. And I am going to be doing that here soon, and actually filming. And so that's very exciting. My experience and, my psychic impressions and things like that. So, being that I am in the spiritual community, there's a lot of people that use my photograph, and I had visions revealed to me of what they were doing, which was like dark magic, basically getting things from me. A lot of people would, some people would order my book because I autograph. If you order it off my website, I autograph the book. And they'll use my writing to, do work against me. And they act like they think that I don't know all this, but I really do know when they're coming and purchasing pendants, because I put my healing energy programmed into them as well. You'd be surprised how many people are ruthless in the spiritual community. Not everyone is coming from a place of light. And they think that I don't know that, or that spirit doesn't reveal it to me. And the fact is that spirit is all-knowing, and they do reveal every single aspect to me. If you see any glare, I have a blue coat to protect my eyes from bright digital lights, etc. So I apologize. But I have learned different ways and techniques on protecting myself. One of the things is using my hands, and what I'll do is I will do this. I like to do like the Egyptians do. you can use and do hand movements. You can do things like this. I know it sounds and it may be looking ridiculous. What it is basically is that you are utilizing your hands. Your hands carry power and energy. People that don't understand that. And if you are a healer like I am, I just don't advertise that I have healing abilities. You can move your hands in a kind of way that you want. And some people will think that, well, maybe you're doing a spell. But sometimes you need to kind of do that around your aura to protect yourself. I know that, again, it may be very weird, but it works. Another thing that you can do is, let me turn around for a second and get them. I have 2 selenite wands. Okay, these selenite wands, you can rub them down the back, rub them on the front, down your shoulders. You can rub them all the way down to your feet, throughout your feet, and then back. You can also have someone do this on the back of you, from head to toe. Selenite is a conduit, a very strong angelic vibration to the higher realms, to your spirit guides, to your ascended masters. And so it's going to help you with breaking up all the negative energy. And so I like to use these wands and have them on my work area desk when I'm doing readings to help protect my aura and energy. So if you are in the spiritual community and you're doing spiritual work, I definitely recommend having 2 pieces of selenite or a big chunk of selenite in your workspace, because this will kind of banish negative energy, and it will also clear your aura and bring some healing and protection for yourself, especially if you're under psychic attack. If people have done a hex on you, etc. This is definitely a tool to work with, and that's going to be to protect, again, your aura, your energy. Another thing that I have here, oops, let me get here, have my little work stand. I have 2 specific sprays. One is from the House of, is from the Art of the Root. It is called an uncrossing spray. I don't know if you can see that. My camera's not going to do that because I'm using my phone, actual phone. But the uncrossing spray is herbal infused with essential oils, and what I do is I shake it up and I just spray it all around myself when I feel like there are cross conditions. Now, people may be asking me maybe asking right now, what is a cross? What is it when you are trying to uncross yourself? Sometimes we can cross ourselves, and what this means is that spiritually speaking and energetically speaking, we have created some roadblocks in ourself, or people in our life have created some roadblocks. They have created some crossed conditions where you cannot move forward and you feel stuck. Vibration of fear can cause this. Working with magic and not maybe being well versed in it and not protecting yourself can cause cross conditions. So I definitely recommend getting they also sell uncrossing candles as well that you can buy. But I like to use the spray, and I also like to buy my candles from the House of Hoodoo, which is, the owner is Jessica Winston, I believe, and she is from New Orleans and Louisiana, and I buy all of my fixed candles from her. Highly recommend her shop. I don't go to anybody else now for any fixed candles because hers really do work and they're just very powerful. I also use this spray that my friend Pamela Williams, who is now a colleague, she is now offering her services. If you have not followed her on Instagram, it's Pamela at Pamela E. Williams. And she made this beautiful cleansing spray. It's a sage spray. And so she used some essential oils and, again, some sage. I don't know how exactly she did it. I'm not good with tinctures or potions. That's not my thing. But she definitely made this spray, and it smells really divine. And so you can check her out. As far as I know, I've spoken to Pam, and I feel like she is definitely going to go down that route. And she may do custom orders, etc. So you just need to kind of DM her and find out from her. But I definitely recommend that as well. So that's one of the ways, you know, apart from the contacts, apart from the eyes, amulets, crystals. I work with this crystal, which is just a Swarovski, but I also have on my fingers here a amethyst ring. I have a moonstone ring. I have turquoise. This is a Native American made in sterling silver, made by actual Native Americans. And it's a turquoise pendant. All of these stones and crystals are for healing. In this hand, I have lapis lazuli 2 rings. So I'm fully armed with spirituality, with a lot of crystals. And what makes it so powerful is that you have to believe. It's all behind your belief and intentions. What I mean by this is that if you are doing candle work and you are using crystals and you're finding that things are not changing in your life, you kind of have to question how much faith and trust are you putting into the universe, into your ancestors, and onto your spirit guides and your spiritual protection team. A lot of times, spiritual workers will do the work, but they will not put that faith. They start doubting themselves. And you cannot doubt yourself when you are doing any kind of spiritual protection or going into anything new. It's normal for our soul to kind of doubt certain things or have uncommunicated fears about what is to come, etc. But you have to put your complete and utter faith in your work, and it has to be that way. If you are believing in, and you start that, and then maybe you start talking to some friends and like, what are you doing? That's ridiculous, blah blah blah. You know how some people or family members, they're just criticizing you. Then you can get to that point where you start doubting your work because so and so got into your mind. So a lot of the battle is here in our mind, not in our heart, not what we know in our soul to be true, but actually in the mind. Because a lot of spiritual people that are dark spiritual people that work in the spiritual community, they sometimes know that they cannot get through your ancestors or the barrier of the aura around yourself, but they can actually get to your mind by social media, emailing you, nasty messages, trying to be intimidating. Those things start creeping into your mind, and when the mind starts listening to those things, it's almost like subliminally your soul is now programmed, and on a subconscious level those things reverberate throughout the atmosphere, through your higher self, and you have to let all of that go. You cannot listen to naysayers or negative entities, and it's so easy to do that and to fall into that mind game and trap. So again, you have to stand in your truth, in your authenticity, and believe that the work that you're doing, whether it is candle magic, whether it's protecting yourself, is powerful and it's working. The next thing that you can do is to protect yourself is to also envision yourself in a white light. The inside of your body going down is all white. It can be gold. You can tailor the color to what you want it to be. It doesn't have to be white. It can be gold. It can be a purple light, a green light, whatever works for you. That's the key here. I think so many people try to put, a certain motif or put a certain box or category when it comes to protecting yourself or how you should do it. And what I'm giving you here are just snippets. These are personal things that have worked for me, may not work for everyone listening, and I'm never going to shove down someone's throat my own opinions or beliefs. This is just what I have personally have used and has worked for me. So again, it's about finding the formula and protection that works for you. I still need to get my glasses adjusted because they're fairly new and they keep falling on my nose. I have a very thin nose bone, and so the nose pads, I haven't gotten them adjusted yet by an optometrist tech, so I need to go to one and have it done. But like I was saying, it's all about the your intentions, etc., all of that, what you're doing to protect yourself. You can also dip your feet in Epsom salt. You can shower in Epsom salt and Himalayan or sea salt. This is going to scrub your aura clean. I've spoken about this before in other videos. For those of you who have not checked out my spiritual developmental channel or playlist, you need to check that particular playlist, because I have a spiritual developmental playlist on my channel that you can look at all videos, and I talk about different things. So there's different techniques that you can definitely, you know, start using and utilizing for your benefit. Now, how will you know if someone is definitely attacking you and they're doing hexes or magic against you? There's a lot of different videos out on YouTube. A lot of people that, you know, give, you know, a variety of, you know, things that are happening to them or that explain this phenomena. But I'm going to keep it very real here. You will know if you are hexed, if someone has done witchcraft on you, etc., because you are not going to feel the same, okay? Your soul, our souls are so ahead of our own mind that our souls know, and your spirit will not feel right. What I mean by that is that when your spirit is not feeling right, you feel emotionally disconnected, you may feel angry, you may feel upset, you may feel sick, and if it doesn't have a medical cause behind it, more than likely it is it's spiritual in nature. I'll give you an example. I'm a medium, but I knew that I wasn't getting sick. Over the last 3 days, I had been developing some stomach issues, some gastrointestinal issues, and I was to blame the medicine that I'm on for my diabetes. Well, I knew that it wasn't the diabetes medicine because I'd been taking this for about 2 to 3 weeks, and so I didn't have, you know, really any problems until 3 days ago. And then I started having some dreams that I shared with my friend, you know, that I saw. They were a lot darker. I was getting these extreme pains in the afternoon or the evening hours, and a lot of bloating, physical symptoms that are not health related, and I knew that they weren't. And I started feeling, you know, the effects of magic. Well, I actually saw a vision. I went into meditation. I connected with my higher self, with my ancestors, and I saw the faces and what was done to me. It was very dark, and I'm not going to go into details, but they know who they are. And you know, I just feel sorry for those kind of people that exist, that want to do negative work against another person, invoking, you know, hoodoo gods or goddesses or saints, and using them to do harm against other people, because it's not going to work. The thing that you have to understand, even if you work with these deities or entities, or some people that use the Goetia, which is a book for conjuring demons, we as humans here in the physical world are dealing with the paranormal or the supernatural. We do not have power or dominion over these spirits or souls, okay? You're dealing with a physical body, which is you, which is me, and then you're dealing with gods, goddesses, demons, things like that. The problem is that a lot of people get into this mind thinking that they are very strong and that they are stronger than these entities, and they can utilize them and have them do their will or their bidding, and they will give them an offering, and all is, you know, good and everything's peachy. The problem with that is that they are really fooling themselves, and they really are fools, because you are not going to appease someone. Why would you think that a spirit is going to, well, I won't say a spirit, but these entities that are either demons or saints, or even you know, these deities, like I said, like Baron Samedi and Papa Legba, you know, why would you think that you're going to be able to utilize them and that they're going to do your work, which is to hurt someone else because you say so? That's not how these entities work, etc. They're not going to, you know, just do things without it coming back to you eventually. And you may think that you have control now, and that, you know, maybe it did work for you in some kind of way, But it all comes back, and it comes back 3 times stronger. And it's like, these people are just so foolish to think that they can really invoke something that is beyond their own scope of comprehension and power. And they're just fools. So, yeah, I was sick for the last 3 days with a stomach issues that were spiritually related to a spiritual attack on myself. And I'm just, the type of person that I'm going to keep it real. So, forewarned is fair warned. And it may not even be like that, how I said it, but it's better to, be warned about it, to those people that are doing that, which I know are my channel, that stalk me, they are trolls, etc. If you're listening to this, which I know that you are, hi, and know that it is coming back to you, because again, I don't have to do anything. My ancestors and my spirit guides and the higher power is definitely watching. And I don't call it karma, and I don't call it, the cause and effect. It will come back to you. Sooner or later, it's going to come back and haunt you. So, I'm not worried, I'm not bothered about it, but I do talk about it because I know a lot of you out there have had people put your photograph in a jar of nails and told, to put vinegar in it, and just all this other shit that people do, and then go and bury it in a cemetery, or get graveyard dirt and kind of do that, or use coffin nails, or use, things of that nature to kind of, do negative work. It never comes out the way that you want it to. And I know that there are a lot of witches out there in the community who do this kind of stuff, and they do it without, thinking that there are any side effects, because again, in their mind, they don't believe that there is light or darkness, or that karma does exist, and that we are given the ability to hurt other people or to defend ourselves. But there's a big difference in defending yourself from someone, and there's a big difference in actually having, paying someone to do the work for you, to hurt somebody else, that you don't even know. So a lot of people sometimes that are in bad relationships that end up breaking up, a lot of times women will go to someone that is a witch and will ask them to curse their ex, or they'll do it themselves. And the problem with that is that it comes back to you. So if you're wondering why your love life sucks now, and you are stuck in a fruitless marriage or relationship, or you're getting abused in some kind of way, verbally, physically, a lot of this you have to kind of go back, because people forget. They forget what they've done at one point or another. And again, this is all about where your soul is and in life, and where your intentions to hurt another person. It never works out. And so that is my caution to you guys that are listening in today to this video on spiritual protection, and the other topics that I'm about to go into, is to take it very seriously, because the spiritual world and the spiritual realm is not one to play games with. You will reap what you sow eventually. And those of you that, I do candle magic, but I never do it to bend someone else's will to love me, or to force someone to give me money, etc. No, I do it from a place and standpoint where it's just loving, and my intentions are pure. I do, healings with my candles as well, to heal myself, to heal those that I care about, all of you, my rays of light. I always light a candle to, a white candle, and I always pray to Archangel Michael, to Archangel Raphael, to and Metatron, to give healings and healing, etc. I also always, when I'm doing candle magic, etc., like for money, I'm doing it so that I can be blessed on this channel to continue to do these videos, to continue to do content, to continue to pursue, have the available resources that I need to reach the goals that I want, which is eventually to be on TV, have a show, or be on radio, etc., and produce more tarot cards or oracle cards, a new book for you that I am working on as well, and a lot of other things that I want to do. such as like traveling, etc., to help people. And so that is why I do, you have to ask yourself, why are you, from what place are you coming from when you're doing any kind of spell or magic? What is it that you're wanting to do? If there is more of like a personal gain or greediness, and it's not to help yourself or your family or other people, well, I didn't mean to say yourself, but to help other people, and it's just about greediness, to help yourself, and you're not giving back, your time and energy to people or doing good things, then those blessings are never going to manifest the way that you want. So again, this is just some real talk here on my channel that I rarely ever go into, but y'all have asked about spiritual protection, how you can protect yourself, and this is how. So I hope you enjoyed that part. Now, Hurricane Dorian, I did say in one of my lives that I did, but I deleted that live because I just wasn't feeling it, which I shouldn't have, on Instagram. But a lot of people here on my YouTube channel have asked me about Dorian. I did say in my predictions, if you go to my website at www.raymondguzman.net/predictions, you will see my predictions. I wrote November 26th, I believe, 2018 for the whole year of 2019. And I'm not always right on, certain things, because no one is. I'm not God, but my predictions are pretty on point. And I did say that there was going to be at least 3 major hurricanes, at least 3, and that one was going to hit Florida. Now, a lot of other psychic mediums have been saying that it's not going to hit Florida. It's going to veer off because there is some kind of pressure that's coming down. It's going to kind of veer off to, but there, it's unpredictable. It has been sitting and churning over the Bahamas and that area and the coast for quite some time, but it's not that far from Florida. And I do feel like there is going to be some serious damage to some parts of Florida and the upper, and the East Coast, but I feel like it's unpredictable. A lot of people don't think, and I've told people, if you are in Florida, this is your time to evacuate. If you live by the coast, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Orlando. I'm not familiar with Florida. I've never been there, but if you live right along the coastline and you have been prone to flooding, etc., these are going to be things that you want to have done. You want to have like at least 2 weeks of food stocked in your pantry, have backup batteries to charge your phone in case power goes out, have enough gas in your gasoline tank, etc. But take it seriously. I think a lot of people that live in Florida that would be listening to this think, well, they've been through so many hurricanes before that it's never going to happen or it's never going to hit. But then it's always that one unexpected hurricane like Dorian that is very unpredictable. And she is doing something that I saw with Hurricane Harvey, which I was hit with that in 2017. We lost everything. Hurricane Harvey did something once it got to the Texas coast and it got onto land, and that's what it's doing right now in the Gulf or in the ocean. It's churning over a strong period of time. When Hurricane Harvey hit the Texas, it hit Rockport, and all that area before it moved on to Houston. It stayed over our ground, over land, just whipping for like 12 hours, and it caused a lot of damage. There's 5 people confirmed dead. That number may, in the Bahamas, they could be a lot higher. I don't know, but there is a lot of damage that this hurricane is causing. And there's another one in the ocean right now, kind of heading that same path. So, that's one of the things that I hate living in Southeast Texas, especially where I live in the city. We're like 150 miles from the coast. It's always something that I always cringe about when it's hurricane season, because I know that we are eventually going to get another one, and something that you can't avoid. So my prayers and thoughts go out to all the people in Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. If worst thing is like a tropical storm and Florida gets tons of water and rain, and nothing more than some strong damaging winds. But again, I feel like there is definitely going to be an unexpected turn in this hurricane. So it's something to watch, because I think we haven't seen Dorian at its strongest yet. And as far as I saw the news this morning, it was well defined and well formed. Okay, so my prayers and thoughts go out to the people, my rays of light that are in Florida, or that have family members that live in Florida, and anyone that lives there. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Jay-Z and this big controversy. A lot of people in the black community, a lot of people that are fans of Beyonce and him have, really turned their backs on Jay-Z for this deal that he has going, which I believe also, if I'm not mistaken, what's his name, Jermaine Dupri had also some kind of owning like an NFL team or being a co-owner of an NFL team, etc. When I tune into this whole situation, for me, it's Jay-Z is doing it to kind of, I feel like, to gain clout in some ways. And I know that may sound weird, and I'm not coming for him, but I also feel like it is kind of like wanting to get extra power and have power. And I feel like there are people that control him as well, even though he is, very powerful. People that are in higher positions than him that may be telling him or kind of veering him into that direction, like a brotherhood that they may be in, that, this is the right thing. But I don't feel like that was a very smart move. The only reason that I say that is because I feel like this is not him being his authentic self. I feel like there's a lot of money to gain, but at the end there's also going to be a lot of people that no longer believe in him, etc., for doing this. But again, we have to respect who Jay-Z is and what he does. That's his business, etc. So I'm by no means judging him. I think he's a great person. I just feel like, this move was kind of foolish and very, it was something that he shouldn't have really done. But again, we are, not anyone, I'm not anyone to judge him. I'm just giving you the insight that I get. And again, I do feel like his name is going to be continuing to be in scandals. I don't feel like Beyonce necessarily was very happy with this decision, but I don't feel like she also had any say-so in it. But she supports him at the end of the day because that is her husband, etc. So again, it's just an unfortunate situation, but I feel like there is going to be more scandals about this, and it's not going to die down anytime sooner. And I also feel like eventually he will acquire a second team, or have, multiple people that he manages as well. And that's how it's coming across. So we'll just have to see what Spirit is, trying to say here, because I don't understand it. I don't know if he's going to really go, or if contractually he can do that, own several teams at once, or if you own one, you can. I don't know how that works, the ins and outs, but I do know that I hear Spirit say very clearly that he will eventually be owning other teams. So we will have to see how this is all going to pan out. But I do see some more lawsuits for him, and his name being in scandals, and some money loss when it comes to him. And eventually, and I've said this before, Beyonce and him are going to separate. So again, something that we will have to see. I know that they seem very strong, very much like the ultimate black power couple, and very majestic. But like I said, every fairy tale has its end. And I do feel like this relationship is not really based out of love, but more business. Even though they have had children through this, I just stay true with what I feel and see, is that this arrangement between Beyonce and Jay-Z is more contrived. It's more business, and an opportunity for them to continue to have a lot of income, etc. It makes sense why they are together. But eventually, I feel like Beyonce is tired of Jay-Z, or she will get to that point and will move on and rebuild her life with another man, and she will remarry as well. So again, we just have to see how this all is going to play out. But they do have kids right now, so again, like most women that have kids with a family, they don't want to separate the family because of the effects that it usually has on the kids. But we'll have to see, how this all plays out. So I wanted to talk about that. And then a lot of people have been asking me about Miley Cyrus and what is going on with her. A lot of people have been concerned about Miley. I really have to say that Miley is a free spirit. She is not someone to conform to society's expectations or rules. I do feel like, she has come out, I believe she has said, that she doesn't want children, but I really feel like she is going to definitely get to that point where it's unexpected and she does have a child. How soon? It could be within the next 5 years or less. But her hormones is like a, it's like a clock ticking. She's still young, but not that young anymore. And so she eventually will have a child and give her father and mother, a grandchild, because that's what I see, and that's what I feel like it will actually transform her a lot. But one of the things that I've noticed among a lot of celebrities is that a lot of them typically don't want to have children, and I feel like it's because a lot of times it's being selfish. It's not selfish to put yourself before a career, but I also feel like it's not good to miss out on motherhood if you have that opportunity, because it is a blessing. And ultimately our souls were sent here to earth to procreate. Again, that's not going to always be the case or scenario for a lot of people, especially like myself or other people that are in the LGBT community, unless you adopt, or you go through a surrogate and stuff like that. But for the most part, I feel like Miley Cyrus is definitely going to have a child. But as far as marriage, that's up in the air. I don't feel like she's ever going to be wanting to be committed to someone in a very tight relationship. So again, we'll just have to see how that goes. So I wanted to talk about that as well. And then I also wanted to let you know that all of you that purchased my Starseed Oracle Footsteps, Starseed Footsteps Oracle cards, I will be shipping them out by Wednesday or Thursday, so that way you can receive them by Monday or Tuesday of next week. The official launch date is Monday, the 9th, and I'm very, very excited because I will be coming here on my YouTube channel doing a live demo of the cards, showing you all the cards in the deck, and also doing live readings utilizing my cards. And so if you haven't placed an order, go ahead and do so. Also, all of my readings, if you're wanting a private reading, they are on sale throughout this whole month of September. That's all my readings except for emergency readings. Those are the only ones that are not on sale. Also, be sure to check out my jewelry. All of my jewelry is on sale as well. Most of the new pieces that I have are on sale. And I do program healing energy into each piece, and it does come programmed with love. And a lot of these are very protective crystals that I have, so check them out. But I do want to thank you so much for being so amazing. I'm going to be announcing tonight the giveaway winners, if not tomorrow morning, the giveaway winners of my YouTube giveaway and my Instagram giveaway. And then on the 5th, I will be announcing the winners of my testimonials. It's a separate for my clients, I should say. For my clients who have received readings, I have a separate type of reading, giveaway set up for them. So if you have not yet subscribed to my actual website, you should go to my website. It's www.raymondguzman.net. When you get there, there should be a white pop-up that pops up. You can subscribe to my actual website. That way, whenever I send out an email update on sales and stuff like that, you will be able to receive those notifications in your email and be aware of any events that I'm having, any guests that I'll be talking to, etc. So again, just keep that in mind. Other than that, I want to thank you so much for your love and support. I never take you for granted. Thank you, my rays of light, blessings, and love and light.